Hello everyone, I'm Katia with Lunar Sun Creations, and today we are going to be making some stained glass cards. I saw a video that Jennifer Mcguire put out a couple years ago where she did this, and I've actually been itching to try it for ages, so today is the day. I'm going to start out. I have taken a few sheets of 110 pound Nina White Solar Crest cardstock, and I have taken a big roll of double-sided tape. Obviously I got this from scrapbook.com, and I've covered the entire backs of the sheets with adhesive. It's a little bit thick. I have ordered some stick-it adhesive sheets that I think might be a little bit better, because this was it took some muscle to die cut things from this because it is quite thick, but I did quite a few sheets just so I had a bunch ready to go. Then I die cut a few pieces with the adhesive on the back. So my first example is using the quilt rectangle card panel from Frantic Stamper, and it is 3 3¾ by 5 inches large. So I've cut four of these out, and then I've also cut a few just panels without any adhesive on the back that are just white, and we're gonna kind of lay the first one onto here and start making our stained glass. Please note I have never done this before. I have no idea how it's going to turn out, but I am really excited about it. I'm going to try a few different things. So the first thing that I'm going to do is take one of these and lay it onto my little white cardstock panel. And I'm going to try and do it, I'm going to try and peel it off so that all the inlaid pieces kind of stay where they are, because I'd like to try doing another technique with those at a later date. So I'm going to try and do this really carefully and try and keep all of those intact and where they are stuck onto the adhesive. Okay, that took a little bit of effort to get on because it didn't cut all the way through on this little bit, so it's a little bit messy, but that's okay, because we're gonna paint and then we're gonna use another one of these layers over top of it, so no panic, we're gonna do it. All right, so I don't have any Copic markers. I've seen these colored with Copic markers. I don't have any of those, so I'm going to use Distress inks instead. So I've got some pine needles, some fossilized amber, and some mowed lawn. So I'm just going to take a piece of like packaging and just, like you would if you were doing like ink smooshing, I'm just going to put some down here onto my plastic, and then give it just a little spritz of water, and then I'm going to use paint brushes to just kind of paint in the lines. Maybe I should get a bigger paintbrush. I don't know, I'll just make a mess with a bigger paintbrush. So I'm just going to kind of paint in between, going right up to the edge. It doesn't matter if it's messy and it gets on the edge of your die cut, because we're going to add more die cuts on top of this. So it doesn't matter if it gets a little messy. I'm going to use a different paintbrush, I think, for each one of these colors. Let's go in with some fossilized amber. Like I said, I'm not going super neat. I'm being really messy with it, but I'm okay with that. And you can use watercolors with this, or Copic markers, or inlaid paper maybe, like pattern paper even. That might be cool. Okay, I might do the rest of this off camera because this is gonna take me a little while and I'm already like almost out of ink. So this is gonna take a little bit. So I'll do this and I'll come back when it is all painted. So I added a little bit of crushed olive and squeezed lemonade mixed together in the center there. And yeah, it looks like a hot mess. I know it. But it's okay. Because now we're going to take a second one of these and lay it on top. And then we're going to hide all of those imperfections. I'm going to painstakingly try to get these apart. This always takes me the longest. Hopefully this one cut through better than the last one. Okay, so that one came up much better. Takes a little time, and there's the inlaid pieces that I'm going to use in a future project. So now we just carefully lay this on top. Okay, I didn't line it up perfectly, but I'm okay with what I got. Just gonna kind of go over it with my bone folder. Okay, and then I'm going to do that one more time, put another layer on top, and then add my Nuvo crystal glaze to create the stained glass effect. This last one I'm going to leave for the top layer afterwards. So I'm going to do this one more time. Okay, so putting on one more layer, I'm going to try to line this one up a little better than I did the last one. Okay, that's not too bad. Okay, so I've got 3 layers of that die cut on top of each other, and now I'm going to add my Nuvo crystal glaze. I have never used this before. It's very exciting. Okay, so and I'm going to use, did you know, side note, I've always just called these things a pokey tool. Or a pokey thingy. There's an actual name for these. They are actually called a craft pick. I had no idea. It actually had a name. I just always called it a pokey thingy. So I'm just going to continue calling it a pokey thingy. So, well, I guess I could call it the right thing. So use your craft pick / pokey thingy to help you get the crystal glaze all the way to the very edges of your design. I'll lift it up too so you can see. So I've got the crystal glaze and I'm just kind of like pulling it into the edges of my die cut there, just so it's right to the very edge. And I'm going to do that in all the open spaces. And then it's actually going to have to sit overnight. So after I finish putting all the crystal glaze on this one, then we're going to work on our next our next card, trying a different technique, and then tomorrow I'm going to come back and show you what happened with all of these. Okay, so I've got my whole card covered in the crystal glaze. I tried to do a pretty even coat of it and hitting all the very inside crevices of each area. So now I'm going to set this aside and we are going to start working on another card, doing a slightly different technique, and we will carry on with that one tomorrow. Okay, so this time I'm going to use the filigree booklet die from Spellbinders. Oops. So it's got a couple frames, and then it's got these two kind of intricate filigree pieces here. Probably see them better on there. All right, so I've cut out again a few pieces. I'm going to use this pattern later on, but for now we're going to work with this one here. It's hard to see. There we go. Okay, so same process. I'm just going to use different colors of Distress ink. I think I'm going to use blues this time with maybe a bit of purple. Okay, so again, I'm going to be putting my first layer on a piece of white cardstock. I might do something with that later. I haven't figured that out yet, but I might just cut it down just a smidge because I want there to be a bit of a border, but not a huge border. Let's just first see where it fits on here, and then I'm going to trim down my piece. Pop out all of these. Probably should have done that first. That wasn't very smart. I should have popped these out first because now they're all sticky before taking off my backing. Silly. So now they're sticking to everything. Oh, actually maybe that works okay because now I can just take them with my fingers. Okay, give me 1 sec while I take out all of these little bits. Okay, so I got all the little bits out of there finally. So I'm just going to put this kind of with a small border around it, and then I'm going to cut around that. Okay, and now, okay, so I've got some broken china, some Mermaid Lagoon. These aren't going to want to focus, you're going to have to trust me. Broken china, Mermaid Lagoon, some Dusty Concord, cracked pistachio, and possibly some festive berries. Okay, so again, I'm going to do the same technique where I'm just smushing it onto the plastic. And then I will spritz some water and hope for the best. Okay, I know what you're thinking. Damn girl, you messed that up, but good. And I agree that that is what it looks like right now. It's pretty horrible. However, I still have faith that we can make this work. Okay, let's see if we can turn this hot mess into something better. So I'm just gonna peel off the backing of a second die cut, the same die cut. Okay, make sure I've got all the holes out. There's a couple that I missed here on the sides. Let's just get those out. Okay. Now we're gonna put this on top. I'm sorry if my head gets in the way. Hopefully it won't. Okay, so that hides some of it. It's not as much of a hot mess. We're getting there. We're getting there. I'm gonna do one more layer, and then we will do the top layer. I was wondering what would happen if I tried using this soft gel gloss instead of using the Nuvo crystal glaze. So I'm gonna try this. I'm not sure how well it's gonna work, but you know, art is about experimentation, right? So I'm just going to try and get it. I mean, it's gonna go over the whole thing, but I'd like to try and get it mostly into the crevices. So I'm just gonna kind of spatula it on, and then I'm gonna try and wipe off a little bit that is on the top. Like I said, I'm just experimenting. I have no idea if this will work or not, but I really wanted to try it, so. Okay, so it is the next day, and these have had a chance to dry. This is the one that we used the Distress Inks and then the Nuvo Crystal Glaze. It turned out so cool. I love it. So I thought I was recording, but it actually wasn't. All you missed was me taking one more layer of it and embossing it with silver and then putting that over the top. So that's the effect we get. I love it. And then the other one where we used the gloss gel and just used a palette knife to put it over. This is what happened. It's actually really cool. It kind of like made the colors kind of blend together a little bit, and I actually think it looks really, really cool. I think the stained glass effect might work a little bit better with the crystal glaze, but I think this is still pretty cool. It's not quite as smooth drying as the other one, so, but I think it's really cool. So I'm going to, I've got one more layer of this one. It does have the sticky stuff on the back, so I'm going to heat emboss this in silver and put that on. There it is, okay. Okay, so I'm just gonna ink this up here with Versamark ink. So Versamark is just a clear, sticky embossing ink. I'm using the Hero Arts brand. You can use any that you like though. And then I've got some silver embossing powder. I think this was the Bruno Monroe, but I'm not entirely sure because I've since taken it out of the packaging and it's just in a Tupperware. So I'm just gonna pour the silver all over. I think I'm probably going to do it twice, maybe 3 times. Put this back in. Okay, so now we are going to lay this on top of our finished piece here. Try to line it up. I'm not very good at lining things up, but I also want you to be able to see what I'm doing. So my layers, oh Katya, I just took a bunch of the embossing powder off. All right, so I just mucked it up right there, but otherwise it looks pretty cool and I'm pretty happy about it. So I'm just gonna fix that, but in the meantime, let's put things on card bases. So this one is just gonna go straight onto a card base. I think this is, how big is this? 5, 4 1/8 by 5 3/4. So I think it's supposed to be 4 by 5 3/4. It's a little bit big. So I'm just going to adhere this right on top like that, so there's a little bit of a white border. Or do I want to cut the card down and just make it... No, we'll keep it like that. We'll keep it like that. Okay, so I'm just going to add some adhesive to this. Okay, and then for a sentiment, I've used another Frantic Stamper die, this one here, Strong Words. So I'm just using the Just Breathe, and I have cut that out and then silver embossed it as well. Okay, so I'm just going to put that right in the center area. Just going to use a glue pen for that. I'd have to put something on there to hold it because it does not want to adhere. Something heavy, something heavy. Okay, got a hand sanitizer bottle. That's just going to sit on that for a few minutes. In the meantime, we can put this one together. So I'm going to use a white card base again for this one. But because it's a much smaller die, I'm going to first put on a piece of purple cardstock. Okay, and then I will put this on. I still have to fix it, but I can do that in a bit. Okay, and then I'm just going to use this other sentiment from it's a Forever in Time clear stamps die, and it says, "You are my happy," and I'm just going to pop that up on some foam tape just so it has some dimension. Okay. So that's that one. I'm just going to fix that little edge there. And then I did do a third one off camera. It's, once again, I just got a bunch of Frantic Stamper dies, so that's why you're seeing this a lot. So I did another one using the same technique with the Distress inks and the Nuvo crystal glaze, but I did this one quite a bit afterwards, and so it is still drying. It is still quite sticky. And I noticed that I think, so this, we know how this one bled. I think it's because the dye wasn't pressed down firm enough, because this paper has texture and kind of like ridges, and it did the same thing here. So I feel like the ink is kind of seeping underneath the dye a little bit, so maybe I didn't press down hard enough. But I have die cut and embossed a frame for this as well. It might be, actually, you know what, I think it's dry enough that I'm going to put it on now. I'm going to try it. And hope that I'm not making a big mistake putting this on now. I'm just gonna lay something heavy on it for a while and hope that that will work. Question mark? A lot of question marks when I craft. Okay, I'm gonna let those dry and then I will come back and show you when they're all fixed up and completely dry and give you the finished result. Okay, see you in a few minutes. Okay, so the glue is now dry, so I'm just going to put this onto a card base and then I'll just kind of show you the finished cards. Alright. Okay, and then I've got a frame that actually came from the outside of this die cut, and so I'm just going to use it on the edge of this one. So I've already heat embossed it with the silver. And it's got the sticky already on the back. So oh gosh, I didn't put that on very straight. Okay, well, it's down there now. I might have to trim my card a little bit. And there's too many layers to use the trimmer, so I'm just going to use the scissors. And hopefully you won't be able to tell. Problem solved, like it never happened. Alright, so I like it. I think it turned out really, really cool. So this is the one that I did off camera, but using the same technique with the distress ink with a little bit of water painted on there, and then the crystal glaze. I really like it. I think I probably could have gone with a little bit more crystal glaze, so it was like a little bit higher and looked a little bit more like stained glass, but next time. This was a practice run. And I actually really like the way this one kind of like melded the colors together. I think that actually looks really, really cool. So there we go. There is our first card tutorial. Not my idea. Like, I'm giving credit to Jennifer Mcguire. She was the one that I saw this on, but did my own spin on it, and I think they turned out really good. So yay! And next time, I think I'm gonna try doing an acrylic pour on just a few pieces of cardstock together to cut apart and put onto cards. We'll see. I'm still trying to figure out what the next video is going to be. We'll figure it out. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you give it a try, because it's a lot of fun, and the results are pretty amazing, and I will see you in the next video. I might actually add another frame to this one, too. That looks really cool with the frame. I like it. Alright, love you all. Hope you're having a good day. Bye!